Martha, thank you very much for your time ahead of the FA Cup final. This will be your first FA Cup final, correct? How excited are you about the occasion?
Over the moon. I think it's as something as a little kid you didn't really know if you could dream for, but now that you're here playing, it's something that's been our ambition to make it to these cup finals, and we've done it. And we're really looking forward to putting on a good performance as we really, really want to lift that trophy.
And can you explain from a player's point of view what it was like, the feeling in the dressing room or even just on the pitch at the final whistle from the semi-final?
It felt huge. I think we made the game a bit difficult. I think Brighton played really well, but it's a semi-final. Every game is tough, but we found a way to win it, and that's what was important. And then the final whistle, you could just tell we were all absolutely elated. And then celebrations going on in the dressing room after, and it just felt like it was meant to be for us to be in the final this year, and we're just really looking forward to it.
What does it mean to you to be part of the squad that's got to our first ever cup final? Are you aware of the history that you're creating?
Yeah, I mean, I think we're trying to push on. Obviously, the club on the women's side is that's what we're doing. We're trying to make history and just keep climbing up and keep improving, and that's what we're doing. And I think this season we've done so well at that. And obviously, there's 4 games left, but really important games, and we want to be making history. But we also just want to do the best that we can do individually, and then the rest comes collectively.
And what's it like, the prospect of playing in front of a sold-out Wembley crowd?
It's mad. I mean, a lot of us were sort of stressing about getting tickets for our family because they just sold out so quickly, which is great. I mean, it shows where the women's game's going, and it's important, but it's a dream come true for a lot of us. And to play in front of that many people and show that many people are invested in women's football, it's amazing, and we're really, really looking forward to the spectacle.
And did you get tickets for your family?
Yeah, got it sorted. No, the allocation ended up changing, but there was a bit where we were a bit like, oh, it's sold out already. Are we going to be able to get tickets? But no, it's fine.
I think it's one of those with United, there'd never be a big enough allocation.
Yeah.
So it's great that so many people have got tickets, but we're never going to get everybody. Yeah. Will it help you, the rest of the team, the fact that you've already played quite a few matches this season at bigger stadia, thinking the Emirates, obviously Spurs, Old Trafford, the Etihad. Will that help in terms of the size of pitch and just the big crowds as well?
I think so. I think we play really well on a bigger pitch, and I think our results in the men's stadiums have sort of spoken for themselves. And despite a draw at the Etihad, we've won all the other games, and that I think really speaks volumes of that we're okay for the occasion, we're good for it. The pressure doesn't sort of get to us, and we know Chelsea will be a really tough test, but we don't think we're going to treat it any different. We're just going to go in head first and treat it like a final, but at the same time just play and express ourselves on a beautiful pitch in front of 90,000 people.
Say it quickly, it doesn't feel as imposing, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
Do you remember watching the FA Cup final, men or women's, when you were growing up? What are the memories that you have? Are there any that really stick in your mind?
I mean, it's what every footballer playing, domestically in England dreams of. Playing for an FA Cup final, and to be able to lift that trophy at the end would just be an absolute dream come true. And I think it's going to feel so special because it's a sold out crowd for the first time ever for the women's. I mean, maybe it happens for the men, obviously, but for us to be able to do that and draw that many fans in, and it just shows how important and how the growth of women's football, what direction it's going in, and to be a part of that mainly is also just an immense amount of pride. You just remember, I grew up in America, so games were very early on in the morning. So I just remember waking up early and the football was on, Premier League was on, and we'd all be down in the couch watching it and eating our breakfast at 7 a.m. sometimes because that's what time kickoffs were. So yeah, I think it'll be an immensely proud moment for me, for our families, and then as collectively a unit.
Have you allowed yourself a moment to imagine what it might be like to lift the trophy in a red shirt?
To be honest with you, not really, because we're so focused on every game that's at hand. So we haven't even had time to think about it. Obviously, maybe at the end of the final whistle against Brighton, we were like, wow, going to Wembley and we have a chance to lift the FA Cup trophy. But then in what we do, it's just straight back into the next game. So immediately after that final whistle, we enjoyed the moment, going to Wembley, but that's just half the battle. Obviously, you still got to play the game. It's one thing to be in a final, but it's another thing to win the final. And that's our goal. Our goal wasn't just to be there. Our goal is to win it.
And thinking about the actual day of the final, how will you prepare? Do you do anything differently? Is there anything that will feel the same, that will be different? What's that going to be like? Have you even thought about it?
I feel like probably haven't thought about it. I think the main thing that's going to feel so different is just the noise that's going to be there. It's going to be a lot louder. When you're talking about us playing in front of 30,000 people, well, 30,000 people times 3, that's a lot more. So I think it's gonna feel really loud. Obviously it's a massive stadium, so maybe that'll help drown out some of the noise, but we're looking forward to it. I think we just need to stay level-headed, not let the moment get to us too much, and play the way that we know we can play.
And there are players in the squad who've played in finals before, played at Wembley in finals. Have they shared any of their experience or knowledge with the rest of the squad at this stage?
Oh yeah, but I'm sure they will, and it'll be a great insight for us just to understand how maybe it will feel and how we can deal with certain things if things pop up. But like I said, like this week, all our focus is on Tottenham. Last week, all our focus was on Villa. So after Tottenham on Sunday, I think a lot more of those conversations will be had where we're fully focused on FA Cup final, and we can spend that week talking about things, planning things, visualizing what the final may feel like, and picturing ourselves lift the trophy.
And we are at a crucial stage of the season in 2 competitions. Is that easy to do, to compartmentalise them and to keep them both separate? Or do the odd thoughts sort of creep in every now and again of the what ifs?
Yeah, I mean, I think for what we do for a living, pressure's always there. But, it's a famous quote that pressure's a privilege. And we're so privileged to be in these moments and be in these big moments. So to put ourselves in a position to be, sitting in first place with 3 league games left to go. I mean, we're ecstatic with that, but we know we need to keep pushing on. We know there's people below us that have games in hand. We know we can't drop points. And I think we showed that last weekend against Villa. Not our best performance by any means, but at the end of the day, it doesn't matter if it's 3-2, 5-0. I mean, goal difference, yes, but points on the board, no. So we made it difficult, but we're so eager to do the best that we can do and lift the trophy of the league as well, that each league game is so important for us, and we just try and focus on that when it's there. FA Cup games are next, then we focus on that and forget about the league, and it's just one of those things of separating the two.
Assuming that the best one is still to come, do you have a favourite moment of the cup run so far this season? Is there one moment that sticks in your head, perhaps?
To be honest, a lot of the games that we did make a lot of the games quite difficult. I'd probably say, Vilda's free kick was a great moment. She does them all the time in training, and for me, that's just someone who deserved it and deserved that moment. And it was a great free kick, and I think you could tell by our celebrations about how buzzing we all for her. So for me, that's the first thing that came to my head.
Obviously, the best is still to come, though.
Yeah, it is.
And in terms of the season as a whole, what would you say has been the most defining moment of it so far?
I would say the most defining moment was probably beating Arsenal at the Emirates. I think for us, we just showed a different kind of resilience again to get out of that game, to come from behind, and to do it in front of so many people again on such a big stage. And it's also, because it was Arsenal, it's such a big win because they're obviously closer to us in the table. And the goal from the beginning is finish as high as we can, but it's also qualify for the Champions League qualification. So I feel like wins like that just mean a lot. And obviously doing the double on Arsenal this year has been massive for us. Not many teams have ever been able to do that. So I feel like, though, that was sort of a turning point where, we feel comfortable when we're winning in games, but how do we respond if we come from behind? And we've done quite well in that. We've done that at Brighton, we've done that at Villa, and maybe that started from the Arsenal.
And you were one of the players who ran over towards the United section at the Arsenal game. Thinking about that crowd,
yeah,
you coming towards us?
To be fair, I'm following Les because she's the one that scored the first one, and then or the last goal. So you sort of celebrate with the person who scored, and I don't know whether she knew that the fans were there or what, but it was a special moment to be able to celebrate in front of them, and you can see it from our faces how much it means to us. And I hope no fan ever thinks that we don't give 100% in every single thing that we do, because we genuinely do, and nobody wants Man United to be more successful than us. So to be able to celebrate that with the fans who also want us to do well, it just means a lot. And that was such a big moment. It was just such an exciting moment. I'm just like picturing the photos going back with Maya doing a knee slide and stuff like that. And again, it was another big moment against Villa with Millie scoring, and we all just turn and sprint after her, and she seemed quite rapid at the moment because we were struggling to catch her. But no, I mean, it's just to be able to celebrate with these girls. We're an unbelievable group, and we all get on so well.
And fingers crossed there's still more to come.
Yeah.
Good luck for the rest of the season. Thanks very much for your time, Martha.
Thank you.